think we really passionately believe in unboxing people's potential. So really enabling people to be absolutely the best they can be, and live an inspired and fulfilling life, both inside of work and outside of work. I think it's a few things actually. So I think first of all it's our ethos. So we really believe in long-term partnerships, so really building relationships with our clients and really getting under the skin of what the organisations are about. So, whether that is understanding their culture, understanding their values, but for us also it's actually living that. If we're going to be training people, we want to get in there. We want to work shoulder to shoulder with them to really feel what they feel and see what they see and understand the challenges that they face day in, day out. And that way we can really tailor things to fit their needs.
We've had lots of fun doing that. Particularly rings a bell working in Five Guys when Joe and I got the hat and apron on, and Paul and Rich a bit later got their hats and aprons on, and we got in there and caused as much chaos as we could working in the Five Guys restaurant, and that was a lot of fun. We spent time in 2E's travel agents doing the same thing, sitting with their advisors side by side and learning their business as well, and we'll continue to do that with everyone we work with. We believe in really making a difference to the organisation. We've been on both sides of the fence with McDonald's as L&D and HR managers, so we know some of the challenges that are faced within organisations and how much money is invested in trying to develop and look after people. And we don't always see that return on investment, so we understand that side of the fence, and we try and make sure that all of our clients benefit from that.
What that brings to us now is that we really get our clients, we really understand the challenges that the internal teams go through. We understand, the nature of getting things through the board and signed off, and the massive weight that is put on HR and L&D to really get a return for investment, really get a bang for your buck in terms of what money you're spending on your initiatives. But we really understand, what makes them tick and really get under the skin of the organisation. And I think it's about long-term trusted relationships, trusted partnerships where they feel that they can just pick up the phone and ask us something. And equally, we do the same to them. If there's things that we want to bounce ideas around on or learn from them, some of the challenges that they're seeing on the other side of the fence, then we can pick up the phone to them as well.
Everything we do is built in a way that helps the learner bring to life what they've learned back in their role. So we know that only 12% of learners apply their learning from any classroom session back into their role. So we try and change that by designing learning that makes them think tangibly about what they can do differently, how they can make a real difference.
And I think we work very, very hard to create interactive, engaging, really kind of experiential training, whether that's face-to-face or whether that's virtual, where learners have a chance to explore themselves and those light bulb moments really start to switch on.
We don't believe in just doing one-hit interventions where we maybe turn up, do one day's training or a couple of hours virtual training, whatever it might be. We believe in building longer-term programs with blended elements to it. So in an ideal world, there'll be some sort of pre-learning, maybe some digital learning up front. That means that they have a basic understanding of the key principles of the topic before we can spend time with them face to face. And then we can really make the most of that face to face time, talking through how they'll apply that learning. So we can test their understanding, think about scenarios where they might use it. And then the important part that is always the challenge, and that's how you embed that learning. Trying to find something that's going to help people remember what they've learned long enough for them to apply it.
We've obviously been in the L&D industry for a very long time, and we recognise that one of the biggest challenges is around embedding learning. And we've all talked through and worked through the 70-20-10 model, but really how much of us absolutely get that 70% nailed, and it's about bringing it to life and enabling people to put that knowledge into practice before it's forgotten.
So everything we do sits under one of three pillars: learning technology, leadership training, and employee experience. Under learning technology, we have our agile micro-learning offer, so that's our spaced repetition learning app MemoryBox. But we also do e-learnings, whether that's bespoke creation or our off-the-shelf suite. In terms of leadership training, we do standalone one-off virtual courses, but we do prefer to do fully blended programs over a period of time to really make the impact. And we have a team building offering too. And under employee experience, that's where we look at the wider strategy piece, developing an organisational culture, driving employee engagement, and our wellbeing and mental health offering. We try to make it as interactive as possible. We challenge the learner to think about the topic. We're asking them questions, we're asking them to use interactions that prove they understand it all the time, rather than just reading, because that is how they're going to learn, and that is how they're going to understand how to apply that learning, importantly. So
what we've done is use a very old learning psychology actually called spaced repetition, which was discovered by a scientist called Hermann Ebbinghaus in 1885, so it's grounded in huge amounts of science. And he essentially discovered that we forget information over a period of time, our memory erodes. And then he looked at how we overcome that, and we overcome that essentially by repetition. So it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's repeating information at spaced intervals to allow us to really kind of exercise our brain muscles, I guess, and make sure that that information is deemed important by our brains. Because of course, you know, part of the primal function of our brains means that we can't remember everything. So we tend to forget the stuff that we don't deem as important, that we don't need to know.
So MemoryBox is our spaced repetition learning app, and this was built specifically with the mindset to help people remember. The AI in the background is figuring out what they know, what they don't know, and over a period of time it's learning exactly where their knowledge is strong and where those gaps exist.
The app that we've developed, I think, fits very, very nicely into today's learning environments, today's learning challenges as well. So works very, very well with the modern needs of learners. So it's 2 minutes a day, it's on mobile, they can pick it up, put it down whenever they want. Real micro learning, so real bite-sized content. And from the back end, you know, the L&D teams can look at all of those insights and really see that their learning is having the impact that they want. But equally, they can adapt and be agile very, very easily. So, you know, content can be pushed out really within a matter of days, if not sooner. So they can refresh and keep things very current and work in a very agile way with what they want to communicate, or the new learnings that their people need. Learners log on, they want to log on because it's fun, because it's engaging, because they're competing against their friends, they're connecting with their friends and colleagues across the business, across different departments, across different teams, across different sites, and it really gives them a buzz, and it really connects those employees together.
We offer accredited mental health first aid training, and we think that's a really important part of our offering. Obviously, with COVID, when COVID first started, everyone was really keen to start supporting the health and well-being of their teams, and rightly so. Obviously, it's always been an important subject, but it certainly became more prevalent when COVID first kicked in, and I think that's going to be important to consider the impacts of that for years to come.
For me, one of the most important things is that organisations talk about mental health. Raising awareness, talking about it openly, and creating an environment where people can speak about it, people can admit if they are struggling. That's one of the most impactful things that organisations can do to move forward with employee wellbeing.
One of the things we do is try and help people consider how they create a culture of mental well-being and psychological safety in the workplace. So a culture where people feel safe to be who they are, to talk about how they're feeling and open up and share how they're feeling with people, and that's okay, and it's okay to share how you're feeling because we're here to support you. So that we try and really create that culture, that mindset, and we give them some practical tools to do that. So we talk through how to listen to people, how to empathise, And this is where I think we tie in, and maybe we're a bit unique in the way we offer mental health in this, because we are not just a mental health provider, we also deliver leadership training, and what we do is we combine those two elements. So rather than just say, oh, listen to people and empathise, we'll bring in some of the leadership stuff into that, and we'll talk about, let's look at Covey's 5 levels of listening. So we're using our leadership knowledge to really build on the key components of mental health training as well.
We talk a lot in our leadership programmes about creating a culture of psychological safety. And I think, to me, that's exactly what modern leadership is. It's being able to inspire and motivate and create a team that can be exactly who they want to be. They're empowered to make mistakes. They're empowered to innovate and learn in whatever way they choose. They're empowered to be themselves and as individuals, bring their own strengths and opportunities to the table.
Inclusion is a massive topic as well, especially more recently, after Me Too and Black Lives Matter and other things like that has really made this topic really prevalent. But it's always been important, and it's really important to us. We offer diversity and inclusion sessions, but actually it goes way beyond that. We weave the message of inclusion into all of our leadership training. It's such an important part of how you lead a team. Leadership's changed from 20, 30 years ago when it was a very autocratic, top-down, I say jump, you say how high sort of mindset. Leadership now needs to be agile and inclusive. We should be involving all of the members of the team. We move forward and win together as a team. It's about empowering people to make decisions, encouraging them to suggest things and letting them know their voice is being heard. And I think we all know that way of leading teams is a way to run a successful business. I think we've been lucky. We've worked with TUI, we've worked with Five Guys, we've worked with Rent to Kill, Dr. Martens, Lacoste.
I couldn't possibly say which one is our favourite, because we enjoy working with all of them. And I think the reason for that is because we build such close relationships with them, so we really get to know them and understand them, and it becomes very natural. It just becomes very good fun and very organic, being able to work and offer ideas and just really be a seat at their table and bring our experience to their organisations. So yeah, we love all of our clients.
What do you reckon? Five Guys. I am most proud of the team that we have built. So maybe it's because of my background working in large teams at McDonald's, but when Joe and I first set up PeopleUnboxed, the one thing that was missing was working on our own and not having this bigger team. And I'm really proud that we've grown the team with some amazing people.
I'm really proud of the team we have. I'm really proud of the clients that we have and the people that we work with, and the fact that we genuinely make a difference to individuals, to people in those organisations and to their lives. And from the very start, that was exactly what got me out of bed in the morning, and exactly what brought me into L&D and HR in the first place. And I feel like we really live and breathe that day in, day out.